Welcome to the CommonManSports Show. I am your host, Nick Antoniadis, along with my co-host, Brandon Kramer. Happy opening day to all of you guys that were celebrating for your baseball teams. It hasn't been great for me. As you guys may know, I am indeed a Mets fan. And I got a lot to say about this team. So first off, I felt a little bit better. This is getting recorded after the Mets actually lost 7-6 by the Milwaukee Brewers, but I knew that this season was going to be a really bad season for this team. I knew that going into it, but I have never seen a team that is so broken, so lost in this early on into the season. They just started 0-2 in their season since 2014. And in these two games, yes, second game, they did come back 7-6, but they did, in typical fashion, they did not win. Whatever. But in that first game, we have these high expectations like, oh, this is going to be a fun season. We're going to get to see these young guys play, whatever. They get one hit. And it was off of a Starling Marte home run, which, to be fair, Starling Marte looks pretty good so far. But this is such a typical Mets thing to happen. They don't find ways to hit. They don't find ways to get excitement. Yes, you can talk about this whole Jeff McNeil situation we're going to be talking about in a second, but I've seen bad teams come back and win baseball games. The Mets, they go out and get pieces, and they just don't do anything. It is like this, like last season, they go out and get Justin Verlander. He had a terrible beginning, and then he ends up getting traded, spends half of the season, whatever. But in this second game, I'm kind of excited. I get to see Luis Severino pitch just to see what he's about, whatever. He goes 5 innings, 12 hits. The first time in his career that he gives up 12 hits, 5 runs. This was the Severino that I feared when he got signed by the New York Mets.
Let me actually.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, just as you were saying, like, I have a couple more friends besides you who are Met fans, and they're like, oh my God, we're getting Luis Severino. This is the same guy that has had issues with tipping pitches since 2018. We are in the year 2024. 6 years, and he still is unable to figure out why he's tipping his pitches and why every time he tries to throw an inside fastball, it ends up outside. I feel bad for you because you saw the stuff. You probably saw the wipeout slider, the high velo. It's there. He just can't control it. He is, and I will say, is the most frustrating pitcher to have on your team.
I was just going to mention that this start right here, he had a base runner in every single inning. and look, he has, like you said before, he has good stuff. He topped at 99 today. He had a dangerous slider. It looked pretty good. So I'm like, okay. He gave up the first run. I'm like, okay, cool. And then this whole Rhys Hoskins situation, which we'll talk in a bit, but well that's going to be later on. But I just don't understand how this team can be so lifeless every single year. And look, going into it, I already knew that this Mets, like a manager hiring in Carlos Mendoza was a mistake. Ever since that they fired Buck Showalter, I was like, we're screwed. And then they decide to go after the Yankees sloppy seconds. After a terrible 2023, they go out and get Carlos Mendoza. What are you doing? Seriously.
I warned you.
Like, I understand that Craig Counsell, he was pushing for more money off of Steve Cohen. I understand that. I personally didn't even want Craig Counsell, to be honest with you. He kind of seemed like a piece of crap anyway. But whatever. Get someone else. Why do you have to go for someone that had a terrible 2023 season and now he's hiring for the New York Mets who had a terrible 2023 season as well? I don't understand that. And right off the bat, opening day, you go out and you make Jeff McNeil batting cleanup. You make Jeff McNeil batting cleanup. That's not even the worst part. Today, which is game 2, Tyrod Taylor, not Tyrod Taylor, not the Jets quarterback, Tyrone Taylor. He goes out and they make him a cleanup hitter. They put Brett Beatty on the bench, and you have Zach Short starting third base. The first play for him, he boots it, and that's going to be the first run of the game, and there's going to be 2 runs after that. Are you kidding me? And of course, right when Brett Beatty decides to pinch hit, he gets a 3-run homer, and finally get the energy. Does that not put a light into you? Does not that click for you, Carlos Mendoza? Because clearly there isn't. Clearly does not. It is so frustrating because it is the same story each and every year. This team is soft. Hypothetically, this team is soft. They need to find ways to fix it. You know, in 2022, in 2022, that was our year. I hate to say that. I know I always say this is our year. 2022 was our year. This team was dangerous. The team had electric. In that second game in 2022, they went off the bench. They benches were cleared after the Francisco Lindor hit by pitch. We don't see that anymore. Obviously, the bench is cleared, but that whole situation with the whole Jeff McNeil and Rhys Hoskins situation, if you guys don't know what happened, if you guys are living under a rock, whatever, basically, Rhys Hoskins did a late slide, but in the rules, you have to put your feet on the ground first, you have to touch the plate, and you have to stay on the plate. Rhys Hoskins did all of that. But Jeff McNeil wasn't happy with the way that he kind of touched his leg, and, McNeil had a hissy fit. And, of course, Rhys Hoskins ate that shit up. And in game 2, he went 3 for 3. Actually, 3 for 4 because he got out by Edwin Diaz. 3 for 4. The Mets fans booed him every single time, and he got a hit every single time, including a scorching home run. Stop fucking booing him. He eats that shit up. Do you not know that he was a Philadelphia Philly? In 2019, they threw at his face. The next day, he hits a home run, and he tried around and took 30 seconds. Rhys Hoskins eats that shit up. And Brandon, say what you want to say about this whole Jeff McNeil, Rhys Hoskins situation.
Just like Altuve with the Yankees, we boo him and he's a... No, here's the thing. Let me touch on Mendoza first. Okay. I feel bad because Carlos Mendoza is not fucking good.
No, he's not.
Like, won the Yankees. I hated him. I always hated him. And I think I've told you that before. I said, when you guys were rumored to sign Carlos Mendoza, I'm like, that's a big mistake. That's a big mistake. And I'm don't want to throw Soto in here, but with the Heyman article last night coming out, he's Scott Boras' inside guy. With now, it's already after 2 games, Soto saying he's heavily leaning the Yankees. I mean, if I'm any player, why would I want to go to this? Yes, they have Cohen, but this also shows money doesn't do shit. But anyway, I had no issues with the Rhys Hoskins slide. It went by the rules. You're breaking up a double play. I guarantee you, if it was anyone else, McNeil wouldn't have a hissy fit. But he got slightly touched. McNeil or Hoskins' cleats were still on the ground. It wasn't like when Manny Machado lifted his leg up and pretty much ended Dustin Pedroia's career. It's the Mets are the only team that could start a bench clearing brawl or just a bench clearing, argument and not benefit from it.
Yep.
I mean, here's the thing. And this is on Mendoza because I guarantee you the pitcher didn't want to throw at Hoskins. You throw him in his first at-bat, not the third at-bat.
Especially when he's 3 for 3 and you booed him 4 different times.
It's just like the Mets are they're dysfunctional. You guys are going to sign Pete Alonso long-term. It's going to be big. It's going to be more than he's worth. And that's no disrespect. Freddie Freeman's underpaid. Freddie Freeman should be the highest paid
Matt
first
Olson
baseman
is
in
underpaid.
baseball.
Matt Olson's getting paid like what, 150 or something like that?
I think it's like 8 years.
It's a typical Braves contract.
Yeah,
like,
probably half of it's probably going to the Braves Foundation. But also I was looking at Severino's spin rate. If anyone doesn't know, the faster spin rate on your fastball, the harder it is to see. It's then affected less by drag and wind, which would naturally drop it down. So it stays at a level plane, which gives the illusion that it's rising. Severino had 100 spin rate per minute less on his fastball today. And again, control issues. But I guarantee you know what's going to happen tomorrow if Mendoza is adopting the Boone thing, which is there's no such thing as hot. Beatty's not going to play tomorrow. He's not going to play tomorrow. No. I mean, Tyrone Taylor is going to, be batting cleanup. I mean, it's frustrating, and I get it. Diaz looked good. He didn't look dominant.
Yeah. I think what it is that, it's his first game back, and he did look all over the place a little bit. He did look like that in spring training too. I'm expecting the first month to not really look like himself, and then he'll
I
like
don't
get
think you're ever
closely
going to
into it.
see the Diaz you had in 2022, which
No, I don't see
sucked.
that.
I mean,
I
he
don't
had a
see that.
torn patella
No,
tendon on his push-off leg.
like I said this like in an earlier take. I think it's going to be like a 270 ERA, which is good. I'm
That's
not saying it's bad.
that's
I think
good.
it's good. I think people are putting high expectations for him to be comeback. I think he will win comeback player of the year,
It actually
but I
means
don't.
something. It actually means something in this league.
But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think he's going to win reliever of the year. That's a simple. That's a
No,
simple take, and
reliever
that's
of
coming
the
from a Met fan. That's
year.
not happening.
Um, prob AL probably go to Hater.
It's yeah.
Um,
Usually, Hater is always in the conversation.
I don't know about
Um,
it, but no, it's just like I feel bad for you. You know,
here's
lost
what
the series to the Brewers. Was it a 4 game? It was a 4-game series, correct?
3 game. So
3
tomorrow's our
game.
last game because the first game was a rain out.
Oh yes, you
Like
guys are not
Thursday, it was
like
supposed
us
to
with
happen.
fucking
That's what a
4
lot of
games.
people are saying. They're saying that the Mets they lost mojo because the first game was a rain out. Shut the fuck up.
If
Pardon my
anything,
language.
if anything, I would rather my team play and then not have a day off.
Yeah, I agree too. I did screw us over a good amount of times, but this is what I have to say. I know that David Stearns is a big Mets fan. He grew up a Mets fan. I understand that. And I do expect him and Steve Cohen to go out and re-sign Pete Alonso. But I know that this season, it was kind of a throwaway season. And it's simple as that. I mean, look, we're seeing the young players play. I mean, Francisco
Not really.
Alvarez. No, 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 no.
Beatty. Yeah,
Can I
goodbye.
say something? Can I say something, please? You're seeing Francisco Alvarez play, and he's most likely going to play every single day. Not like I don't think he's going to play 162. He played 123 games last year, which is pretty good for a catcher.
130 to
But
140 is really that sweet spot for a catcher because they need more days off.
yeah,
But if he can DH, that can change things.
that's what I'm trying to say here. I know that the whole JD Martinez situation, they're trying to see, the typical DH that they're going to put in before, JD Martinez comes back in like a week or two. But you're starting to see Francisco Alvarez produce a little bit. And look, maybe in the future when the Mets, this is no doubt in my mind, they're going to be sellers during the deadline. When they go out there and they trade away players such as DJ Stewart, if he's even staying on the team, Starling Marte, trading away possibly Bader, trading away all those players, that's when you can call up Drew Gilbert, Luis Angel Acuna. Two of those players, they've in their first game of the season in AAA, they hit a home run. That's when you start to see the young players. And I know that Mendoza is not showing, like, it's not giving chances to Beatty. You have to give him a chance right there. He just hit a scorching home run, put the energy back into Citi Field. They needed that. Simple as that. And I want to see more young players play. I need to see that because this season's not going anywhere. And I knew that going into it. I'm a Met fan, as you can obviously see in these like my rants. I'm very loyal to them. And I know that they need to do, you know, something to make these young players play because let them play. That's why I wanted Mark Vientos to play. And look, maybe the price was there for JD. They had to take it. But, play the young guys. And this is what I'm going to say about the Yankees. When the Yankees have a very bad season, they go in full fucking force. In 2008, they missed the playoffs. The next year, they won the World Series, and it was one of the most dangerous lineups that I've ever seen from a major league team. In 2023, they had hands down the worst season that I've ever seen from the New York Yankees. And what did they do? They looked at the weaknesses. They knew that the strikeout rates was high, so they go out and get Alex Verdugo and Juan Soto, people who don't strike out a lot. And now you see the expectations of Anthony Volpe starting to show up, who has been phenomenal at bat so far. He has looked in both games, in game 1 and game 2, he has looked at 25 pitches out of the zone. In game 1, he swung at it 0 times. In game 2, he only swung at it once. That is incredible from a young player who had expectations through the roof and people were saying that he was an absolute bust. He's going to be trash, whatever. He's starting to show it. The Yankees know what they're doing. Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner, I know that you were pissed about not them waking up and before they got Stroman, but they're getting the pieces to win. And now this is going to bring in our conversation. This Yankees team don't know how to lose. Simple as that. Game 1, they were down 4-0 and they won 5-4. And Juan Soto showed up in his time with the Yankees and threw out the runner at home, which, in my personal opinion, they shouldn't have sent him home. The only people that I can see that they should have sent home, if it was, I don't know who was the runner. Who was the?
It was
wasn't
Dubon, so he's fast. So it was a
okay.
smart
So
send because
because
it
I was
took a
gonna say
perfect
the only
throw.
players I can really say would be like Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
They could have, but and also it was out, one out, whatever. But he showed himself, and he got the runner out in an incredible fashion, and you could already see the connection between Judge and Soto, flexing the muscles, whatever. But and then we're gonna go into game 2, which Brandon, I can let you talk about your Yankees right now, so go right ahead.
Oswaldo Cabrera, I have to give props to him. I was shitting on him the entire spring. He tore it up at the end. What I am hearing is that he's going to do what Ozzy Albies did, or it wasn't Albies, what Cedric Mullins did, which is mainly hit from the left side, not switch, which is great. But, I mean, as I said, the reports are already that Soto really wants to stay a Yankee. He's going to still test free agency, but I'm 99.9% sure he's going to re-sign with the Yankees. That's not the point of this topic. The Yankees do not have Garrett Cole, the best pitcher in all of baseball. Nestor gives up 4 runs in 2 innings. Last year's team would have just curled up into a ball and died. No, they worked their way back. Yesterday, Rodon, the stuff looked great. Control wasn't there, but the stuff looked great. Grinded through 4 innings, then went to the bullpen. The Yankees have how do I say this the right way? Since the home run in the 2nd inning, Yankees have allowed 1 run to Houston. Now, this used to be a house forest. Now, this is even with Judge being a double play machine right now. Like, it just seems that every time it's coming up, Soto's doing his job. Cabrera's doing his job. Volpe has said he's having great at-bats. And the Yankees are just capitalizing on the Astros' mistakes. And then they're deploying out, their stallion of arms, or just their stable of arms with, Victor Gonzalez, Caleb Ferguson, Ian Hamilton.
Who's that one player that had a 3-pitch inning?
Clayton Beater, because Yordan Alvarez accidentally turned around the base. But no,
the first person to do that since Mariano Rivera, which is crazy.
This is what I expected the Yankees to do to start the year. Now, I was expecting, maybe a split, but they have a chance to now go ahead and win the series, maybe even sweep. I mean, Torres gets hits on the hand, and I'm like, oh, he's done. He's back in the lineup today. I mean, while they didn't really spend a lot of money in free agency, the amount of players they acquired, Verdugo, Soto, Stroman in a sign.
He's pitching game 3.
Caleb Ferguson, Victor Gonzalez, Trent Grisham.
And now they just got John Birdie, who's a good backup.
They overhauled the entire team. Weaknesses, outfield depth. Fix that. Didn't really fix the starting pitching depth, but I mean, there wasn't really that many options.
Here's the thing that I kind of wanted to say about the pitching depth. So I know that you, in one of our old videos, before they signed Stroman, you got a little bit upset that they didn't go out and get a starting pitcher. And, there was a possibility that Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery was going to make a reunion. But here's the thing. The Yankees easily have the best bullpen in baseball. They're always in the conversation. They're always in top 5 or top 3 in bullpen. You can make arguments here and there. In the 2023 Baltimore Orioles team, their pitching was not great. They go out and get Jack Flaherty, and he was horrendous. What made them spectacular was obviously their offense, but their bullpen was outstanding. That's the thing. I know that this season is going to be a little bit different for the Orioles. I mean, their bullpen is not as good as it was last season. Their closer is Craig Kimbrell, who's basically
out for the year.
He's what'd you say?
Felix Bautista's out for the year.
Felix Bautista's out for the year. Craig Kimbrell is basically past his prime. I know they go out and got Corbin Carroll, who looked absolutely dominant in his first game.
Corbin Burns, not Corbin Carroll.
Oh, excuse me.
If they got Corbin Carroll, holy shit.
Corbin Carroll as a pitcher. No, Corbin Burns. Looked absolutely incredible. I heard this interesting stat. He's the first player in MLB history since Bob Gibson making his debut with a team going 6 innings, 1 hit, 11 strikeouts.
I
Which
mean,
is such a random stat, but like that's
I
still incredible.
I still agree with what a bunch of analysis are saying is that Juan Soto means more to the Yankees than Corbin Burns means to the Orioles. And think of that. Juan Soto's changed his entire lineup. With Corbin Burns, you're getting him every 5 days.
That's
Soto's an
true.
everyday guy.
Mhm.
Last year he played 162 games. Um,
Yeah, you're
and
expecting him to
I mean,
go
and we've
out and
already
almost
seen the
play every single
walks,
game.
like the
Mhm.
plate discipline and everything.
Yeah.
Like this,
I mean that's true. I mean, I don't even see. I mean, you could say like Grayson Rodriguez would possibly, but he's always been like he had high expectations, and now he's looking like he's at the down low. He's pitching game
pitch,
2.
he's pitching right now. It's
Yeah, there we go.
2-0 right now.
Baltimore.
Breaking news. DJ LeMahieu has a non-displaced fracture in his right foot.
Okay, so that's gonna be a while. I would say
Doesn't move me.
but I mean
Honestly, if Oswaldo Cabrera, I'm not going to say he's going to keep hitting like this, but if he can show the ability he has with hitting and getting John Birdie, I'm not worried at all.
Mhm. And also,
Because
like DJ LeMahieu hasn't been the same ever since 2019 when he batted 350, and he got that giant contract for the Yankees.
yeah,
But it goes to my point that like they knew that they had a bad season, and they know that they have no idea how many good years Garrett Cole has. They don't know how many good years Aaron Judge has, knowing that he can get injured at any time. This was their best chance to go out there and win a World Series. And I stand by that. This is the best chance for the Yankees to win a World Series. You
yeah.
go out there and you get the best generational player in baseball, and he's going to get a fat paycheck. Literally at this point, give him a blank paycheck and he can write it himself at the end of the
Honestly,
day.
I think what's going to end up happening is he's going to go to the Yankees for about 12 years, 600 million. They're going to
Okay.
front load the contract and have an opt out when he's 31.
Okay.
Because then he can opt out, get more money. But then you're maximizing that year. So by the time he opts out, if Judge is deep on the decline, okay, let him opt out, rebuild. No, so I used to, shit on Hal Steinbrenner, but he's smart now. Like, don't get me wrong, I love George Steinbrenner. Judge would not be on this team. So many guys would not be on this team because George was very impulsive. Now, I guarantee you, Hal is like, if Judge goes to Hal and says, we cannot let Soto walk, they're going to give him what they think is a great offer and negotiate. If Soto says, I want to stay, he'll stay. They only do this. When I say, oh, he's not leaving, I've always been right. First one was DJ LeMahieu. He didn't leave. Second one was Aaron Judge.
I mean, Aaron Judge was never going to leave.
Hey, arson. But who knows? And then the third one right now is Juan Soto.
And what I did like, what I know that you're probably like whatever about this, but they were a little bit stubborn to give the contract that Yamamoto wanted because they didn't want him to be overpaid. Like not, I wouldn't say Garrett Cole's overpaid, but they want to pay him more than Garrett Cole.
No one deserves more money than Garrett Cole, especially when you haven't thrown a single. Oh God.
Especially, yeah.
What's his name? Not Laz Diaz. CB Bucknor just ejected someone.
I hate CB Bucknor.
What's new? But yeah, no, like, could Yamamoto be great? Yeah, but he doesn't deserve more money than Garrett Cole, and his record's about to be broken. Cole's going to opt out. Yankees are going to trigger the opt in. It's going to be in the end 10 years, 360. Taste that dick. But no, like the Yankees are in a really good position. Now, I do think when we re-sign Soto, it's going to come at the cost of Gleyber Torres, which is going to suck. But if Oswaldo Cabrera has a breakout year, let's say 250, 260, maybe a 850 OPS, maybe above 800 OPS, I'll take that any day of the week and on Tuesday. Because, and people forget, there is no structural damage in Garrett Cole's elbow. So they're going to take their time with him because he needs a full spring training.
When they did say that it was going to be around June.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's July, and I wouldn't care if it's July.
I saw someone on Twitter going, if you speak Yankee, it's August 1st.
I wouldn't even, take your time with him. Rodon, as I said, looked really good. Like, people are going to say, oh, the line wasn't good. The stuff. Last year, we did not see him pumping upper 90s. We did not see that wipeout slider. And what I've said all along, and you didn't believe me at first, I said that cutter is going to is going to change his repertoire so much. He used it twice against Yordan Alvarez and struck him out in one of the bigger moments, because as the slider, he was mainly a fat four-seam slider pitcher. So if it wasn't hard, it was going to sweep away. With the cutter, it's a hard, but just goes horizontally. And he really used it well, and it's just going to get better. I mean, he was also profusely sweating. And as I think Brendan Cuddy or Greg Joy said, he said, bro, he just looked like he jumped in a pool. But so much for these performance jerseys, though. Performance.
They said it can make it makes them air out a little bit more.
And Juan Soto Carlos Rodon his ankle.
Carlos Rodon looked like Usher at the Super Bowl with how sweaty he was. He looks like he had a wet blanket on. But my overall opinion about Carlos Rodon's start is that, you know, he, like you said, he looked good. You know, obviously he did walk 3 batters. You know, look, it's the first start. Mm-hmm. Look, it's the first start. He only went like what, 4 2/3 or something like that. 4 1/3, yeah. So look, give him time. Simple as that. 1 run, it's not bad at all.
No, not at all, especially with all the traffic. And
especially in Houston.
And what he did last year is when traffic would be on, they would get hits. But that's the difference. Back then, he was throwing 93, 94. And I always said that the back injury was still bothering him. He looked better. Mechanics were a little bit out of sync, but he even admitted that. But he fixes that, then he's fine. Mm-hmm. But, you know, the stuff-wise, that's what the Yankees signed, or that's who we signed him for. Just
if you guys don't know what I'm what Brandon's talking about right here, I get very pissed off that he says we when they're talking about the Yankees. And my thing is, do you play for the Yankees? No. Are you part of the organization? No. But he always says we.
I did intern there once, though.
Yeah, but you know, the internship's done.
Okay, but I technically was part of the team.
Yeah, but not anymore.
But anyway. I was.
Okay.
Hey, when I have season tickets, they say welcome to the Yankee family. I give Hal Steinbrenner, that is probably like a piece of rice in his like massive bowl.